Ed comes out from lockdown. Ed had spent several months leaving the zoo with Zora and visiting people all around London who needed his help. As well as using his extraordinary long neck to transfer food and other things from the ground to high-rise flat windows, just seeing the special one out and about each day had lifted people's spirits during the pandemic and had been very good for their mental health. The mayor had given Ed a medal which read, "Free Giraffe of the City of London." It meant that if Ed ever wanted to open a shop, he could do it in the City of London. It was an award not given to many people. This was a very positive difference for Ed. Our favourite giraffe had been in his enclosure for a few days now, and he sensed that something was about to change. Olivia and Zora were heading towards him. He could see them from a long way off, as his extraordinary long neck stretched way above the gated walls. He quickly hid behind a tree. That was in the corner of his area, whilst the other giraffes shook their heads at his antics. As his two friends entered the gate, he swung his neck around behind them and brought it right up between their two heads. He gave each of them a big kiss on their cheeks. Oh, Ed does love playing tricks. Both Olivia and Zora were surprised and let out a high-pitched scream before realising it was only Ed playing with them. They both told Ed he was a very naughty boy, but really they were not angry, even though they did wag their fingers at him. They both started to laugh, and they stroked his long front legs. Ed just grinned even more, showing off his big white teeth. "Now, Ed," said Zora seriously, "we have important news to tell you. From next week, we have no further need to go out into the city. Instead, people will once again be able to visit you here in the zoo. From the end of this month, up to 6 people can come and visit you at a time. And we are building a special area around the enclosure where they can come and share their picnics with you." Ed began to lick his lips in anticipation. "A couple of weeks later," continued Zora, "more people will be allowed to visit the zoo, and 6 can meet at each animal enclosure. It is to be called the Rule of 6. So, we are here to make you smart and ready for all these exciting changes." Olivia went on, "That is not all, Ed, my darling. 1 month after that, all being well, even more people can visit us here at the zoo, making even thousands of people here at a time. We do hope so. Maybe a month on from that, everything will be back to normal." Ed trotted over to Olivia and Zora and gently dropped his large head onto the top of their heads. It was as close as Ed could get to giving his friends a cuddle. He understood how so many people had been missing their friends for such a long time now. Ed was really glad that things were about to get back to normal. He started to wonder where his next adventure would be. As he lifted his head, he could not resist giving his friends another big kiss on their cheeks before sticking out his very long tongue at them in fun.